Welcome back everybody to another Rodenberg Rocks video. We're going to be going over stages 4 and 5, the final stages of our rock tumbling process. The reason I'm putting them both into one is because the last process only takes 2 hours of tumbling versus another 7 to 10 days. And that way we can just review the stones that have finished polishing. So we're going to go take them off the tumbler. We're going to put them into borax or any detergent that you have for a couple hours just to clean all the grit off of the stones, and then we'll check out some of our final products. So without further ado, let's go get them off the tumbler. This is after stage 4, the aluminum oxide polish. Slurry looks a lot different than what the other ones typically look like. Maybe it's because I had less water in this one, but usually it's a little bit more runny, but looks good to me. So I'm not even gonna glance at these yet. I'm just gonna rinse these off. I'm gonna put in, I got detergent. I just got borax because that's what was recommended to me. I guess I don't know if all detergent's borax or not, but gonna rinse these off, put in some detergent, run it on the tumbler for about 2 more hours, and then we're gonna call it good for these stones. So I'm gonna put it in there and we'll see you in a couple hours. Okay, I thought I'd do a little different shot of how I really put these back in, because you really only see when I have them already in the barrel, just about to ready up the scoop. So I just got this strainer from where I dumped my leftover sludge from tumbling, got a little towel underneath. I'll just make sure I pour them all back in here. There, last one is baby agates. A little spillage. Okay. Partially why the towel's there too. Not make a loud noise or have them bounce all over off the table. You know, with the bigger rocks, this is not as much of a tedious process because they don't have these small sizes all throughout. So these ones kind of get caught in the strainer a little bit. But so I mean, even when we started, our size was maybe a little bit smaller than this depth-wise in the tumbler, but overall it's pretty dang close to what it typically starts with, versus the Michigan stones have lost quite a bit of size. So I got my aluminum oxide polish here. Typically this is 2 tablespoons, and I just 3D printed these, and they work pretty nice. Got one for each one of my tubs. And then I just got some water. We'll typically fill it up right below the line of the top of the agates, just right about there. So without tilting it, because that's going to show a little bit less, but you'll see some agates are still sticking out on top a little bit. So we're going to cover this one back up, throw it on the tumbler. This one's 7 to 10 more days, and then we finish it with 2 hours in the borax, and then they are done. So let's throw it on there and let's get to the last stage. I'll tell you what, I must be losing my mind because I literally just can't get it off. Put these back on the tumbler without any water or detergent, like I said. So they're just tumbling there freely. So hopefully they're fine. It was only for a few minutes, but now I'm gonna load it up and then put it in there for a few hours, and then we'll take it back out. So see you in a bit. It's a good looking slurry. That was about after 2 weeks in the final stage. Let's get those rinsed off and cleaned up, and we'll bring them with the other batches. So the agates turned out, oops, absolutely great. There's so many, from the smallest, dinkiest sizes all the way up until some pretty nice size agates. So honestly, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sort all the small ones out of here Again, I use those for my agate epoxy art, and I'll put them in my jar. I'll save some of the pretty ones so we can take a look at them, and we'll go from there. So we got both of our tumbled batches of rocks here. Finally, it's gone through all the stages, about a 35 to 40 day process. We got our Michigan stones here, as well as a couple of my own mixed in there, just to take up some space. And then I picked out some of my favorite agates out of that batch, because a lot of them were the small size. So I'm gonna just do some zoom ins of some of my favorite stones, show you what they look like nice and polished, and we'll call it a day. So we got both of our tumbled batches of rocks here. Finally, it's gone through all the stages, about a 35 to 40 day process. We got our Michigan stones here, as well as a couple of my own mixed in there, just to take up some space. And then I picked out some of my favorite agates out of that batch, because a lot of them were the small size. So I'm gonna just do some zoom ins of some of my favorite stones, show you what they look like nice and polished, and we'll call it a day. So I just picked a couple from the Michigan batch. I just love this Puddingstone, polished really nice. Those pieces of jasper just glow throughout the stone, and I really like how this one turned out. Super duper nice. Also, I believe this is a cold water agate. You can see some banding running through up here. Not much I could do about this. Again, I could have tumbled it a lot longer, but it's just got a crack that runs, looks like all the way through it. So I don't think it would have been as nice if I would have broke it and split it apart. So I'm okay with these. I know people who are more into tumbling would not appreciate it like that, but I think I'm okay with it. This, I thought it was the Charlevoix stone. Again, not sure. Looks like just a fossil of some, but it didn't polish up very well, and it just might be the different, I guess, minerals in it, or the different way that it's made up compared to these other stones. So maybe that's why it didn't shine up as much, if I didn't leave it in there as long. But might have to try and hand polish that one. But I still think it looks super nice. These couple, I believe, came from my collection. Not really sure, honestly, what this stone is. I just really liked the different colors and variations and pockets in this stone. I think this one polished pretty nice. And lastly, this one came from my collection. Still unsure if this is a form of chalcedony or chert attached to some host rocks. Looks like some oolitic jasper, but I love this stone very much, and I love how this one turned out. Yeah, those are my favorite that came from the Michigan batch. So let's take a look at some of my favorites from the Lake Superior batch. And here's some of my favorite agates that got polished. Here is that large one. Not a lot of bands going on there, and you can see a lot of kind of inclusions in there that it didn't get tumbled out very well. Again, if I would have kept it in the first stage longer, maybe that would have eventually got worn away, but I might cut this one eventually too. It could just be quartz in the middle, but I don't know why I just threw it in there, but kind of cool nonetheless. Honestly, not sure. I think I just grabbed this one. It's not one of my favorites. It's just to show some cracking in this one as well, that maybe it's not an agate, but maybe in the future time when I get more picky, I break these or tumble them a lot longer. This one had some really nice banding in it. If I can get the light to benefit it. Pretty nice limonite color in there, as well as just some nice fine red banding in there. It's a lot of unique shapes. A lot of agates I find though, like I said, have these inclusions, so it's kind of hard. I don't like trying to tumble them all out, because I think it can be a waste of time in my opinion, just because I just like to look at them. Not to say it's overall a waste of time for those who want a very nice polished agate. For me, I just like to see them polished in this manner, because it kind of keeps them like they were when you found them, not trying to get rid of everything. But a lot of these turned out Really, really nice. And I just love looking at it. The limonite on this one is beautiful. Not much banding going on, but just all the little spotches of that. They're super cool. But yeah, I'll try and show more videos of my tumbling. Probably more of the final products more than anything, but kind of just give you a sneak peek of my whole process and how they turn out. So thank you guys for all tagging along for this long tumbling journey of what I go through on my, I guess, each stage of tumbling, from stage 1 in the higher 60-90 grit all the way to finishing it off with some borax and getting them cleaned out, their surfaces. But happy how they turned out. Started the next process for my agates, as well as a couple other stones that have been gifted to me, so we'll see how those turns out. But nonetheless, thanks for coming with me, and we'll see you on the next video. Peace.